Howdy, welcome back to the channel. Looking a little further into Safuu, some new protocol that I've been interested in for a few days now. Looks like it's making some money. That's always nice. So I just wanted to point out this cool little calculator they had when you open up the app. And something just fun to play around with. I like that they add a future Safuu market price so you can kind of play around with it if it were to bottom out or go much lower, how long it would take you to still recoup. So that's a pretty neat feature. I was throwing in just some estimates. Let's say you were to put in about a thousand in here, and this APY does cut, but I think the percentage drops from looking at the white paper, looking at the docs. I think it drops after the first year, so it does go down. You'd have to check out the docs. We'll take a peek at that in just a moment. But you can see the return here. This is about 30 days. If the price were to stay the same, not go up or down, you're still looking at about 30 days to double, to almost have 2 grand in there. So that's pretty impressive. I was playing around with dropping this. Let's say falls back to 100, then logically it takes about 60 days, but then you'd get back to your 2,000. And of course, we can expand this out if this program does last as long as they would like it to. Kind of the amounts we're looking at. And of course, that's multiplied if this were higher. Let's take a glance at the docs real quick to see how this APY works. Specifically, I wanted to get to the part where they talk about this dropping over time. It gets really detailed here. I know I saw it on one of these pages, so that's why I'm kind of clicking through. Yes, here's the page. It's the long-term interest cycle. So the LIC is how they've built this into the system to have this fall off over time. So each epoch is 15 minutes in length, and there are 35,040 in 1 year. So up to that 35,000, looks like it's a 0.02355% every 15 minutes. And so you could kind of compound that out, and it looks like they have multiplied that out for the calculator. This is the APY they've multiplied that out to. Remember that percentage from the doc is every 15 minutes, every epoch. And then so for the next one, 35,000 through 52,000, it goes down to 0.002. So from 0.02 to 0.002 for the next 6 months, and then it drops again for the next 6.5 years, and then in perpetuity until max supply is reached. And I think the developer who gives the AMAs on his YouTube every morning, by the way, he's basically giving videos, answering questions, talking about the platform, the protocol. He's talking about it every day on his YouTube and showing his face. He's got a lot of videos out there with a lot of information. But I think from what I heard on the last video that I watched, this until max supply is reached should be about 13 years. About 13 years is where he's expecting this to go. I don't know what he expects to happen after that. Maybe we should have all made our money and GTFO at that point. And hopefully before then you make enough and get out if you were to invest. There's no referral link on this. I'm not shilling this to get referrals or make myself more money, except I guess, obviously, because I've only thrown like $25 at it, but obviously the more people throw into the contract balance and drive the more people buy and drive the price up, all that good stuff, we all see an increase, any of us who are invested. I threw in about 25 like yesterday or 26. I'm at 30. Not only is the Safuu increasing, which is held in my wallet, remember, it's not staked. I still think that's really cool that it's just compounding in the wallet. I mean, this coin could still be worthless in a month. I have no idea. I'm not going to tell you it's not because I don't know. But, yeah, supposedly making about $3.67 every 5 days, and it's at 187 right now. If that goes up, if that continues to go up, let's say it hits 250, then here I'm at 30. I'm turned 30 into $80. So this is a fun calculator to play around with. something fun to play around with. If you want to see, if I threw in X amount, how much would I make after, say, 60 days? I feel like something like 60 days is pretty reasonable. If I was planning to like get in and then try to make some profit and kind of siphon off some of the profit, I could see something like 30 or 60 days on a project like this. If it continues on like the developer wants to. Like I said, I can't recommend. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not one. I can't give you expert advice as to what you should invest in. So do your own research. Go watch the developer on his YouTube. See if he seems trustworthy to you. Do research on anything else he's been a part of. Look into all that. And, if it seems off, then obviously don't listen to me. Definitely don't invest in it. Like I said, there's no referral link here. I'm not shilling for that reason. There's no way I could be, but I do think it's a neat project. So might be something to go check out. I like this UI. It's pretty straightforward. Seems pretty safe as far as not going to be a traditional rug. They don't have access from what you're granting the MetaMask, the permissions. They don't have access to pull those out of your wallet. So the only thing that could happen is it could pump, and then some whales could obviously sell off their large position. Something like that can always happen with something that's especially not staked. If there's no cap on how much you can sell off, any of those types of projects, it just depends on how nicely everyone wants to play in the sandbox together, because there's no limit on what you could pull out. But all that being said, it's kind of an interesting project, and it looks like it is clicking along and making money. And if I'd thrown in more than just this small amount, even a smaller amount, like say here, yeah, 375. Look at that, 30 days in. If the price stays the same, I've already doubled that up to like 740. If the price goes higher, we look even better after 30 days. Price drops to 100. Not seeing much of a profit, but if the price didn't drop much further and we held out to 60. So there's a lot of good scenarios here, depending on how well everyone plays the game and depending on how the project continues. So I thought that was a neat little calculator. Go play around with it. Go check it out on Safuu. If I don't have a list, wow, I can speak. If I don't have a link in the description, I will go ahead and shoot that over. I'll make sure to put that in the description now if I haven't previously, just so you can do your own research and check that out. As always, hop in the Telegram if you have any questions or want to chat more. That works a little better than the YouTube comments, but feel free to throw a comment down here if it's something everyone should know, like why Safuu completely sucks, or why it's an amazing protocol. Either way, I think we'd all like to have extra knowledge on that, as long as it's not just baseless negativity or baseless positivity. Really, either one's just as bad, right? If we're trying to make good decisions and see what might actually have some longevity to it and what might make us money in the future, we want to use common sense either way, whether it's positive or negative. We want to make sure that we're backing that up with some type of evidence. We see that with Drip and all these others, where people are just fudding, just being negative for no reason, just because there's a dip. Even if it may be a temporary dip, people freak out, they panic, they start selling, and that's how a lot of these projects do dip and then go even further down, because of it's just this compounding effect of negativity. So we don't want to do that either way, really. I think maintaining a level head and a common sense type approach to the sentiment for all of these protocols would be best for all of us who are getting in. We have less wild swings, and if it's a positive, awesome project, it'll steadily climb on its own accord without having to overly shill the crap out of it. So that's my take on that. Thank you all for watching. As always, I appreciate those who appreciate the content, or if you absolutely hate it, I actually want to hear that as well. That helps me a lot. I love constructive criticism and knowing how to improve, because without that, how do you know that you're saying anything that is helpful or that other people want to hear? Hope you all have a great day, morning, evening, night, whatever time of day it is for you in the world, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks again.